Now, as a prerequisite, in order to understand this particular session of the hypothesis, one should really understand about what the sampling is and the sampling distribution. Definitely, within the sampling distribution, there are various categories under it, so that also need to be understood in order to generate or create the hypothesis for the respective sample group.
Which we are going to cover this session would be, firstly we'll understand about what is hypothesis, then we'll try to understand about what is null hypothesis, followed by alternative hypothesis, and we're also going to discuss about hypothesis testing process, so which is being further proceeded by steps involved in hypothesis testing. Now, thereby, the discussion will be on reasons to reject the null hypothesis, further followed by the level of significances, and in the last, the references will be given for this session. So let's continue with it. Now, firstly, what is hypothesis? We first need to understand what the hypothesis is. Hypothesis is a claim or an assumption about a population parameter. So in the hypothesis, it is exactly like making any statement, and throughout the process or with the help of the hypothesis process, we are trying to prove it or we are trying to disapprove the particular hypothesis which have been made. Now, in general terms, in the normal day life, we can say every individual, based on their experience, they always make certain statements. So, if we put that, if we relate it with the hypothesis, the idea is to accept that statement or to reject that statement. And in order to accept that statement or to reject that statement, the complete hypothesis process will be followed. Now, in the research, the hypothesis is one of the content or one of the area of research methodology, or I would say the very important part, because throughout the research or any particular study, we are going to discuss about the hypothesis, the statement. So, now there are two ways of making an hypothesis. We can generate the hypothesis which is being based on the population mean, and at the same time we can also make the hypothesis which is based on the proportion. So mean, we do understand it is the central or central value of any given data set, whereas the proportion is being concerned, the proportion is one separate, one part or an element of any population. Basically, proportion is part of the population and the mean is the central value of the population. So if I give the hypothesis example for the population mean, the example would be the mean monthly cell phone bills of this city is mu equals to $42. So this is in the terms of population mean. How do we draw the hypothesis? Another one, in the inference to the population parameter, population proportion, the example would be the proportion of adults in this city will cell phone is 5 equals to 0.60. So this is how we generate the hypothesis through the population mean and through the population proportion. So this way the hypothesis is usually being prepared and stated. Now coming further, as we know, if I talk about the types of hypothesis or basically the categories of hypothesis we have, the first one is the null hypothesis, which we state it as a hope, which is HO is being reflected as a hope. This is how we represent it. Now the other one is the null hypothesis, which is H1. The alternative hypothesis is H1. So basically the hypothesis actually have two categories. One is the null hypothesis, other one is the alternative hypothesis. So let's begin with the null hypothesis, which is being represented as O. Now null hypothesis, it actually states the claim or assertion to be tested. So through the null hypothesis, in the research, if we are trying to prove any statement that would be asserted, that would be claimed through the null hypothesis. So the example could be like for stating the null hypothesis if the average number of TV sets in US homes is equals to 3. So the stated hypothesis is HO, which is equals to population mean, which is equals to population mean, which is 3. So this is how do we construct, this is how we draw the null hypothesis. Now the second one is whenever we make any null hypothesis, the alternative statement automatically becomes the alternative hypothesis. But as long as the null hypothesis is being concerned, the null hypothesis, it will usually be represented as equal, equal, greater than, lesser than. So these symbols used to be followed or used in whenever we make the null hypothesis. Other one is always about the population parameter. So the inference, whatever statement we are giving to the null, it is always have an inference to the population. Not about the sample statistics, it is about the population parameter. Since we are going to prove it through the sample by using the several statistical tests, but the inference will belongs to the population because the sample is the part of the population, which is actually the subset of the population. Or we can say the sample is basically having all the characteristics which the population is having. Now further, this is how we present the null hypothesis is in the equal, greater than, lesser than. It never be in unequal. It never be in unequal. And the way of writing the hypothesis, null hypothesis is with the population mean, not with the sample status as it is being presented here. Okay. Next, about the null hypothesis itself, begin with the assumption that the null hypothesis is true, similarly to the notion of innocent until proved guilty. So, the in the research, the null hypothesis is being trying to prove it true, or we consider it as a fact or a true unless it is being found guilty. It means unless we get the evidence against that null hypothesis, we are not going to disapprove that null hypothesis. It will remain accepted for us till the time we don't get the evidence against it. And how do we get the evidence against that? By using the statistical test, which is based upon the objective of the research, which is based upon the kind of study we have, the kind of variables we had used, as well as the scale we had used for those variables. So based on that, the statistical test will be used, and further we are trying to prove what is the hypothesis. But yes, unless we have the solid proofs, the solid uh, examples against that null hypothesis, we are not going to disapprove it. It will be considered as a proof one. It will be proof. Now, as I said, that whenever we construct the null hypothesis, it always contains equals to, greater than, equals to, or lesser than, equals to. These signs may be used. And also to note, the null hypothesis may or may not be rejected. So there are complete full chances that your null hypothesis may get accepted or it may not get accepted. Now coming further, the other one hypothesis which we talked about is the alternative hypothesis. So what it states, whenever we make the null hypothesis, since we are talking in the equal terms in the hypothesis greater than and lesser than, so the opposite of that null hypothesis automatically becomes the alternative hypothesis. So if I talk about the in the alternative hypothesis, what it contains, it never ever have the sign of equal, greater than, lesser than sign, because these signs will be used in the null hypothesis. Alternative one is just the opposite of the null hypothesis. If the null hypothesis is using equals to while making it, so the alternative will one immediately become unequal. Further, Alternative hypothesis may or may not be proven. So, in order to prove it, what is required? The evidences are being required. It may get proved, it may not get approved. But yes, our underlying results of the study always lies in alternative hypothesis, not in the null hypothesis. The results of the studies always lies in the alternative hypothesis and is generally the hypothesis that the researcher is trying to prove. In other way, we can say this way that researcher would like to prove that the alternative hypothesis. Now, taking it ahead, after the hypothesis, there are certain steps are being involved in order to prove or disapprove the hypothesis. So what are process, the steps are being involved for hypothesis testing process. The first one is constructing a hypothesis. Since we know in constructing the hypothesis, we will have null hypothesis as well as we will have the alternative hypothesis. And by making the hypothesis which is having the direct inference to the population, we are making the hypothesis which have direct inference to the population. Now, within the hypothesis, we are using equals to, lesser than, greater than sign, and the alternative automatically it will be the inverse of it, inverse of the null hypothesis. Now, coming up to the significance. The significance talks about the alpha value. Now, alpha value talks about that what are the degree of getting an error in any statement, or whatever study we are doing, what are the chances of getting an error. So, whatever statement we made, whatever hypothesis we made, there are chances of having an error as well, or the study might get wrong also, or study might fall with the errors. So in that case, we always believe as in thumb rule, the significance level of which we represent as an alpha, it is usually the 5%. And if I try to show the significance level through the bell-shaped curve, the hypothesis curve, so it will represent that whatever statement I have made to the hypothesis, it have 95 chances that the statement we have made is right. But there are still chances that the statement we have made through the null hypothesis, it may incorrect. So that 5% we are keeping as an error rate will determine that there would not be possibility that whatever research we are making, it is 200% correct or 100% correct. So always there is a scope of some error. So that's why we keep the level of significance as well, which is an alpha. So usually as a thumb rule, we can use 10%, we can use 5%, or we may can use 1% as a level of significance. Now, since we have the level of significance, the third step is determining about the sample, how the sample is being extracted out of the population. So, since the sample is always referred as a subset of the population, the sample should have all the characteristics which the population is inside. So, taking the right sample and trying to draw the result out of the sample should be very much important. If the sample is correct, the right results would be drawn which have direct inference to the population. Now coming up to the p-value. P-value, it basically it gives you the critical line. So with that critical line, since we are going in the third step, we are using the statistical test. Under it, the sample values will be taken up and we either based upon your parametric and non-parametric test, we are going to use the test, and in order to decide in the fourth step, we are going to use the p-value which talks about the critical value. So the in as a thumb rule, p-value is 0.05. So whatever test we have run, whether it's parametric, non-parametric, in the end, it should be lesser than our p-value, which is a critical value. So it should be lesser than 0.05. Then only our null hypothesis will be rejected and the alternative hypothesis will be accepted. So that decision definitely will be taken in the last step of the hypothesis testing. So if I just give a quick glimpse of the steps. First, constructing a hypothesis. Second, deciding about the level of significance, the alpha. Third, determining about the sample which is have a direct inference to the population. Fourth, using the statistical test and giving the critical values. And in the five, deciding about based on the p-value on the critical value, deciding whether the hypothesis is being accepted or it is being rejected. But yes, either of the hypothesis, whether it's a null or the alternative hypothesis, will definitely get accepted, whether it's the null hypothesis or an alternative hypothesis. So this is if I talk about the hypothesis testing process in an elaborated way. So we would construct the hypothesis this way, which have a direct inference to the population. So this is how we present HO notion 2 population mean equals to 50. So thereby we will take the random sample out of the population and the sample mean is being given to us as being 20, but the population mean is being equals to 50. So how we are going about it? So for that sake, we are going to use the right statistical test and as well as we are going to determine the right level of significance. Then only we either accept or reject the null hypothesis. Now, this is the sampling distribution of X bar, which is actually a sample mean. The population mean is always being presented in the central, which is being equals to 50 if O is true. Now coming up to the sample statistic, which is 20, so where it will fall if the population mean is being 50. Obviously, on the left side of this bell-shaped curve, the hypothesis, your sample statistic will fall. So here you have to decide on what all critical values you are having as well as the level of significance. Based on that and also based on the statistical test which we have used and the results which we have drawn, based on that we either going to accept or we are going to reject the hypothesis. Now, level of significance. As I discussed earlier, it is actually talking about the rejection region. So within the bell-shaped curve, the left side, the negative left side or the positive right side, it talks about your rejection region, where the p-value gives you the critical value, but the level of significance give you the rejection region, the area which is being decided under the sampling distribution. Typically, values for the rejection region is 0.01, 0.05 or 0.10. So if I talk in the real terms, 0.01 inference to 99% the statement is being correct, 1% chances that we have made the wrong statement. 0.05 inference to the 95% and 5% chances that statement we have made is being incorrect. Now in the last way, 0.10, it reflects that 90% chances the statement, the hypothesis which we have constructed is absolutely correct, but still there are 10% chances that the statement we have made, it may get incorrect. So it is the level of significance is selected by the researcher at the beginning. So based on the kind of study, the type of study the researcher is being having, the level of significance is being decided on. And it actually provides the critical value of it. What it provides? It provides the critical value. Now since we are talking about the level of significance, so if I talk about under the region, if I talk about the under the region, so here you can very well see you can very well see here this region is actually what? This is actually the spread. This is your central value. This is population mean. Since you got the level of significance which is talking about your alpha. So this is the rejection region. With the p-value you got the critical value here. If I am talking about the both the sides, that 5% alpha is being divided on both the sides. So it will be 2.5 on the left side and 2.5 on the right side. So represent the critical value. Now, if this is on the both the side, when the hypothesis is being constructed this way, your whole notion population mean equals to 3 and alternative is unequals to 3. So this way the hypothesis will be constructed this way, this bell-shaped curve, and your level of significance is being presented this way. So if your tested statistic will fall somewhere here in this area, then your alternative hypothesis will be accepted. What will happen? Your alternative hypothesis will be accepted and your O will be rejected. So If I talk about greater than or lesser than situation where the upper tail test situation is there, where we are only talking about the right side. What we're talking about, about the alpha. So this will give, this alpha is actually the complete 5%. So in the upper tail or in the lower tail, complete alpha will fall either on the left side, or on the right side. But when we talk about the equals to, that alpha is being divided on both the tails, left tail as well as the right tail. Now, this is how we decide. So this gives alpha is actually in rejection region, which is being determined this way. And the hypothesis is being constructed as it is being given. Now, lastly, these are the references which we have used in order to complete this session. And in the lastly, I would like to thank you very much for listening this session very well. Thank you very much.